Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I hope you're all having an awesome day today. Now, before I get into this video, I just have a couple of things that I need to say. First off, all of my sources that I use for this video are going to be linked down below. For the most part, they come from Fight the New Drug, which is an awesome organization, but more on them in a bit. Also, speaking of them, I'm not endorsed or affiliated with them at all. I am not getting paid to do this video. I'm just doing this video completely by myself and I'm not affiliated with them. Now, another thing is this video is going to be talking a little bit about pornography as well as human trafficking, so if that's something that you're not that comfortable with or you think you might find some of the info in this video kind of triggering, that's totally fine. I completely understand and I will see you in the next video, but until then, let's get into this video. So today is National End It Day. Today we get to shine a light on slavery that still exists today, just in different ways. But what if I told you that human trafficking was directly fueled by something that's equally degrading, and that's pornography? Now, a lot of people see human trafficking and pornography as two separate and completely different issues. I mean, one basically lives on the internet, and the other one is this distant thing that happens in far-off countries and totally different places of the world. But really, when you think about it, they complement each other. Now, before we talk about how all this ties in, we need to talk about why pornography isn't just a harmless online hobby, when really, it's actually a harmful habit. For one, pornography only shows the physical side of a relationship without giving much thought or care to the most important part, that's the emotional connection. Relationships are about a lot more than just being physical. I mean, the first step in a relationship is to connect emotionally and mentally. Any physical contact, like holding hands or whatever, is a physical result of your emotional connection. And really, you need that first if you want to even have a chance of your relationship succeeding. Pornography works almost like a drug. It works with the part of your brain that's associated with rewards. And here's the dangerous part about that. Every time they're released, it'll take a little bit more effort the next time to get those chemicals to release. This means that basically the same way you got those chemicals to release the first time probably won't work the next time. So you'll need something bigger, badder, and probably better to get those chemicals released the next time. Your brain is also made up of a lot of tiny little things called neurons, and what they do is they send info back and forth between your brain and your body, and they start to form paths wherever they get sent the most. So for example, if you learn how to play a chord on the piano, the more you practice it, the deeper those paths get, and eventually you can play that chord without even really thinking. Pornography works on this same process. The more someone looks at it, the more their brain starts to associate being happy with watching pornography, which is kind of ironic since watching pornography can actually cause depression, anger problems, loneliness, insecurity, and even physical problems. However, your brain not only makes pathways, it also destroys them. So if you don't reinforce those pathways, your brain will automatically start to rewire itself and make new connections to possibly more positive things. Now, one thing that I think this generation needs the most is authenticity, and unfortunately, you're not going to find that in pornography. Typically, the people you see on a screen have had so many surgeries and procedures just to make them look like the perfect human in society's eyes. Unfortunately, this means that someone looking at increasingly disturbing and odd situations is probably not going to be satisfied with anything other than what they've seen on a screen. Also, pornography is filled with violence, abuse, discrimination, and humiliation. Again, it's really easy to start viewing the people on the screen as robots, willing to do pretty much any and everything that they can to make the other person happy. One bit of research done showed that 88% of the most sold and rented porn movies had some type of violence in it, whether it was physical or verbal. There were 304 scenes, so that means about 1 in every 10 didn't have any violence. So again, pornography dehumanizes the people on the screen and can definitely set the viewer up for physical and verbal abuse and aggression towards the person in their relationship. So, how exactly does pornography fuel human trafficking? Let's talk about that. Now, not everybody that's involved with pornography is there because they want to be there. There's really no way to tell if the person is there because they want to be there, or if there's secretly someone behind the camera pointing a gun to their head. Now, what's surprising is that a big portion of human trafficking doesn't exactly follow the narrative of a guy kidnapping a girl from the bus station. Traffickers typically go after people who are young, impressionable, and vulnerable. Half of all victims are teens or kids, and the average age of someone who gets trafficked is around 12 to 14, and a good amount of them are runaways. There are unfortunately too many stories about people who have been trafficked being forced to either make pornography or do things with their captors that their captors saw in pornography. Again, some of those links to those stories will be down below, but by clicking on that story or that video or that picture, that click directly fuels the demand for traffickers to keep pushing their people to go further and do even riskier things, even if there's no money being spent by the viewer. So I'm sure you're wondering, what can you do to help that? Well, I'm just so glad you asked. Below is a link to Fight the New Drug, a nonprofit and non-religiously affiliated organization that fights to help people learn about the dangerous effects of pornography. Also, check out the Polaris Project as well as A21. They're both great organizations that work with local law enforcement to stop human trafficking at the sources. They've all got some good info, so check them out if you want to learn how to help. Also, if you see any sketchy signs in your area that say something like make $5,000 in a week, or models wanted, or amateur models wanted, and they only give like a phone number and maybe a first name, that's pretty sketchy, and you should probably call the police about that, because again, these traffickers prey on the people who are vulnerable, and they're probably going to be kind of gullible to think that that's okay. So we need to get these signs taken up. So if you see something like that, you need to report it to your local law enforcement. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope you found it useful. If you did, please leave a like down below. It's much appreciated. Now on this next screen, there's going to be the option to subscribe if you haven't already done that. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, there's going to be a video that YouTube thinks you might personally like. So I guess you'll just have to click on that to see if their algorithm is right or wrong. Anyway, that's pretty much going to do it. Thanks again for watching. And on that note, y'all, have a great day.